Hi, welcome or welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll make this portrait with charcoal while I talk to you about that piece of advice that's changed my way of perceiving my art, but that I've never received in years of art school. To make this portrait, I'll be using natural charcoal, fusane, in sticks of various dimensions, a 2B charcoal pencil by Lyra, and a 3B carbon pencil Pierre Noir by Conte à Paris. I'll also be using a kneadable eraser and to blend a blending stump, a cotton pad, a cotton swab, and a bed brush. I'll be drawing on a Winsor & Newton 250 grams paper from the mixed media pad. You can find all the links to these materials in the description box. Before moving on to the video, I invite you to leave me a like and subscribe to my channel to find new art videos every week. Today's topic is very important to me because it comes from the reflections I've been making in this past few months about my art journey in general. So for those of you who may not know, I'm an Italian artist and art teacher. I've been studying art since I was 14 years old because I've gone to what here in Italy we call art high school, where we study every subject, but we also study figure drawing, perspective, architecture, set design, and more. After those 5 years of high school, I've gone to the Art Academy, which is like an art university, where I've studied painting for 5 years. Well, not really painting, because public art academies in Italy don't actually teach you how to paint, but that's a whole other subject. If you would like to know how art academies and art schools work here in Italy, please write it down in the comments below, because it would be interesting for me to talk about the art education in Italy to foreigners. So as you can imagine, I've had a lot of teachers. Some were incredibly talented and helpful for my journey, others were awful, but in a way or another, they've all taught me something. I think that to learn a practice that can be drawing or painting or everything else really, you do need a teacher, a master that teaches you and guides you through their experience to develop your own journey. And for this especially, it's important to have many teachers throughout time so that you can learn different perspectives. Because teachers are human, so as they have qualities, they also have limits. And in order to not become the copy of your master, you need to have many throughout time, so that you can take something from each and then become the best version of yourself. One thing that none of my teachers could teach me in art school, by the way, was the answer to this particular question. What journey should I follow? Where should I channel my art? When I was in high school, I was bursting with creativity, and I was struggling to choose between two different paths. One was illustration, and the other was an art career as an artist who sells his work through galleries. I started painting with oils when I was 15, maybe 16 years old, when I was in high school, and at the same time I used to make illustrations with mixed media, watercolor, or colored pencils. I tried to do both things, but at one point I had to choose, because to do something well, you need to channel all your concentration into it. So for this reason, and also because I had a teacher who was really encouraging me to pursue one of these routes, I left behind the illustration path and I kept on painting with oils, trying to build my style and improve my technique to become a professional oil painter. So this choice was crucial to me because in that period of my life, I was exploding with creativity. I wanted to do everything. I wanted to paint, I wanted to draw, I wanted to do representational art, symbolist art, collage, video art, animation. I wanted to do everything. And luckily, I had the chance to try everything. And if you're at the age that I was back then, I understand how you feel, because that's the time where you're at your most creative point in your life, probably. Whereas if you're long past that age, I can share with you the melancholy of not having that creative potential anymore. Because as you grow old, the door for your creativity keeps on closing and you really need to make an effort to open it back again. So In that moment of your life when you're around 15 to 17 years old, you're at the top of your creative potential. You can and want to do everything. But at the same time, you're in a moment where you want to define who you are. You're trying to understand the human you're going to be when you'll be an adult. And at the same time, our culture more than ever wants to project us into our future, suggesting us to hyper-specialize ourselves, to choose who we're going to become in the future at a very young age. So all that creative potential somehow gets lost in the way. Because a big mistake that adolescents risk making is choosing too early where to channel their creativity according to the job they hope they're going to make. And even though I was thinking about the best job I could possibly ever do, become a professional painter, that's the same mistake I did. I think I chose too early between illustration and the art world. Because even though I don't regret one thing about my journey, I am very happy of where it has led me, and I couldn't be happier that my parents always allowed me to pursue my passion for art. But I don't know where I would be now or how my art would be now if I had chosen the piece of advice that I'm about to tell you. What I know for sure is that maybe my art during those years of art academy in Milan and in London, also I studied both in Milan and in London, what I'm pretty sure about is that my art wouldn't have probably been so dependent on my final goal, that was to be an artist represented by a popular commercial gallery. Because honestly, for a long period of my years in the art academy, I really had that in mind, being represented by a gallery, exhibiting, selling my work. All of my creative process, the loving for what I did, was all in the background. Looking back now, I feel like I totally missed the point, and not one teacher could give me the advice that I needed and that I'm about to tell you now. The only purpose your creative journey should have is the creative journey itself. Art, just like play for kids, should be an end in itself. You cannot cultivate your art journey just because you want to make it a job. If you do so, you'll find yourself trying to please people and galleries and the art system with works that might be liked by them, or copying the same format or the same kind of work that people like from you. This is a perfect way to kill your creativity and inspiration. Because the purpose of your art journey is not to please others, but to express your own growth and creativity, to cultivate your own unique vision. When we make art, we let our hands speak for us. Our mind is silent, but our hands moving and expressing ourselves, they speak for us in a silent way, in a visual way. For a long time, I thought too much before painting, because what I wanted was to make a living off of it, so I had to find a way of making it be liked by art galleries so that I could sell it. But thinking is not the best way to make art. It's not a way at all unless you're a conceptual artist or a philosopher or a poet, maybe. But if you're a visual artist, you don't have to think. You just have to grab that pencil, that charcoal, that brush, and make something. Now that I can make a living with drawing courses and painting courses, my art is finally freed from the duty of paying my bills, and now I can really enjoy painting and drawing much more, because I feel that I do it just for myself, just to please my taste, my needs, and nothing else. And I feel that in this way I'm much freer to do exactly what I want. And freedom also gives us the power of risk, and only when we risk, we can make something new, something different, and something valuable. And when we make something valuable, people are gonna recognize it. So it's kind of a paradox, because the less you think that you're going to make a living off your art, and the less you make your art for that purpose, the better your art is going to be, and the chances that people will be liking to buy your art and support your work will be much higher if you make art just for the sake of art. So you might be young, you might be an art student, or you might be older and only paint in your Sundays, but what I want to tell you is, always remember to make art just for the sake of it. Art is an end to itself, and when it stops being that way, it's going to become another boring job, 9 to 5, always the same every day. So don't forget to take risks, to try new techniques, to go over your boundaries, to study your limits, to become a better artist. Copy the masters, be ambitious with yourself. You know that you can become a better artist if you work for it. And don't forget to enjoy every second of this process. And to the youngest who are watching this video, I want to tell you that when they ask you, who do you want to become when you grow old? Just don't answer to that question. Just answer that you'll see who you're going to become. It's nothing that you can worry about now. Because the future always holds surprises. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. But you cannot know in advance who you're going to become. Just live and you'll find out. Don't answer to that question when they ask you, and don't ask it to yourself. It hurts more than it does good, I can assure you. Do what makes you feel good, what makes you feel accomplished, that makes you grow, that makes you become a better version of yourself. Just follow that kind of path. You can only gain from it. Try to cultivate yourself as a person, to grow intellectually and creatively. Stay away from social media and appreciation from others. Stay awake from likes and views for as long as possible. That hurts your art in a way you cannot even imagine. That'll make you be like a flag in the wind that goes along with trends but doesn't have a real identity. And that's not who you want to be if you want to be an artist. You should want to have your own identity, a strong individual taste that you can express and people can recognize. You may not be liked by everyone, but who is? You want to be liked by people who appreciate you for you, as an artist, but also as a person. So I hoped you liked this video and that it was helpful to you. Please let me know what you think or your experiences here down below in the comments. I'll read all of them and I'll be happy if you share with me your experience and your thoughts on the advice that I tried to give you in this video. So my drawing is almost over. I hope you understood more or less how I made it, and overall I hope you liked this video. If so, please don't forget to leave me a like and subscribe to my channel. It's new, but it's going strong, so please join me for this wonderful adventure. And also to have new videos every week about drawing, painting, and inspirational art videos. So thanks for watching until the end. See you next week in another video. Bye!